Go up
awesome.
against
It's fucking awesome.
Metallica, man. Right, Timur? No, I won't put
Yeah.
words in your mouth.
Metallica were the main people that tried to shut down Napster.
Exactly.
Drummer Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was listening to that earlier and I was like, damn, they just keep trying to bring down the people. Crazy. Crazy.
Even at
Up,
70 years of
guys.
age or whatever they're at, yeah.
I
So,
do
yeah.
love Enter Sandman though. That's like one of my
Oh,
Of
favorite
yeah,
course.
it's
favorite
great.
tracks.
It's great.
Yeah, they
What's up,
slap. They
man?
slap.
Yeah, good
How
to
you
see
guys
you. It's
doing?
been a while. So you're the co-founder of Edge City, which is a pop-up village network that convenes people working at the frontiers of tech, science, and social innovation. So I think we've all
Hmm.
we've all heard about network states, startup societies, pop-up villages, etc., but probably don't understand the important nuances that exist between them or the different kind of forms that they're all take. So could you just tell us like what exactly Edge City is today?
Yeah, totally. So we call ourselves a society incubator, but essentially we create real world environments where we can develop new tools and ideas and communities across tech, science, and culture. And the primary way we do that now is through this format of pop up villages, which are essentially like month long kind of co living incubator moments that are specifically geared towards that kind of collaboration and experimentation. So we've done this all over the world. It kicked off just over 2 years ago with an event called Zuzalu, that my co-founder Janine organized with Vitalik and some other folks. And that it basically took this idea of network states and a bunch of other kind of relevant concepts that have honestly been around for actually decades. And Vitalik was basically like, let's just try something. Let's just actually try an experiment, try and get people to actually live together for a couple of months and see what happens. And I mean, there's a bit of lore here where myself and Nima from C Club Ventures, we organized the AI track at that event. And I basically just got full pilled on the concept of what can happen when you bring a bunch of diverse folks together to kind of collaborate in this way. But yeah, that's kind of the basics.
So and I think you guys have run 7 pop-up villages so far. I think it's correct. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
curious, what are the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
learnings, and I'm specifically from the ones that maybe worked better than others. I'm curious about the nuances here.
Yeah, totally. So the first couple we did were kind of let's just see what, let's just try things out and see what works. And now over time we started to really get into the flow of this. And so a couple of things we've learned are one, we at least on the Edge City side, we really like when they're multidisciplinary. So it came out of the crypto space, it came out of Ethereum more specifically, but we've seen that there's just a lot of value in having other areas of technology there, other areas of science, of culture, artists, philosophers, writers, etc. Because it's just much more interesting the types of things that get incubated. Um, Another learning is that we've seen a lot of value in making it multi-generational. So having folks that can bring their kids, bring their families, people bring their parents, their grandparents, and there's just so much fun when there's kids running around or there's elders who have a lot of wisdom to share. And it feels like I feel like we're all in these kind of bubbles where we talk about building the future, but it's kind of empty because we're all in our like 20s, 30s, and 40s. And, it's like, what are we actually building for? So it has a different effect when there are actually the kids running around who are going to inherit that future that we're building. So that's been a huge unlock for us. Plus, a lot of the people that we actually want to attend have families and we want to make it easy for them. Um, but the biggest thing is that people just need environments to be around other interesting, curious, ambitious, creative people that they can collaborate with, kind of, meet across ideological lines or kind of across different fields and actually take that space to imagine a brighter future. So yeah, it's been awesome to see so far.
Can you just talk about I guess how you guys structure the month? Like, I show up on day one, like what am I signing up for and how much of it is kind of structured programming versus kind of emergent spaces?
Yeah, totally. So, by the way, I should say everything I'm saying is our perspective as Edge City. We've probably done the most and the biggest of these, but there are other ways of doing it. The way we structure it is that it's majority emergent, meaning we try to do as little of the actual content as possible and have the people who come co-create the experience with us. And that's kind of the whole point of what makes it so special and what creates these like very interesting moments of serendipity. Um, but yeah, essentially you come and it's a chance to keep working on what you're working on, really accelerate your projects and start to share about what you're building, get people to try your product. You know, you can do a talk, you can organize a kind of a mini unconference on your area of expertise. And then you're kind of, you know, working the co-working space with people, you're meeting people at dinner, you're going on hikes. Actually, let me make it specific by talking about the one that we're about to do in Patagonia in a couple of months. So we're going to spend a month in Argentina before DevConnect. We're going to be in a town called San Martin de los Andes in Patagonia in the mountains. And it's just like the most stunning, beautiful place in the world. And it's going to be a chance for people to come and actually like live alongside each other and really build things together in an environment that's really geared for this kind of experimentation. So we're going to have folks from the Ethereum Foundation, from Safety Wing, from a bunch of just cool, interesting organizations coming, running residencies, running their own programming. So if you come, you can come and participate in that and actually start to get involved, run, you know, do your own talks and workshops and things like that, whilst also having a chance to, you know, go on hikes in the mountains with people you just met over breakfast, or spend time on the lake and do cold plunges, sauna, and stuff like that.
So I'm curious about is the right way to look at Edge City as like a business? Is there an economic model here that you're building towards, or is that sort of the net benefits of the type of value that gets created there is maybe bigger than the individual value Edge can pull out of it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good question. I think there's very much the kind of cultural component, and I think over time there will be ways to accrue that value in the ways that you guys are doing at C Club, either through tokens or some kind of community based mechanisms. Right now, the events are run through a nonprofit for a very specific reason, which is that we don't want to be an events company. Like, we don't want to have the events be the way that we eventually have to, you know, make money. They are sustainable. They do break even. Obviously, we need to be like, you know, running at a profit, but we see much more of the value accruing to the projects and the startups that we've been able to incubate and invest in, and also more kind of real estate focused projects. So we work with a lot of new city types of projects, new towns, big real estate folks, because they see the value in us being able to bring, you know, up to 1,000 just like brilliant people to wherever in the world they are building their vision. And for us, it's great to work with these partners because they have, you know, 20, 30-year timelines. So they're very willing to invest up front in kind of collaborating on these types of events.
What do you see, like, if you squint and this continues to be, you know, wildly successful, like what does this look like in 5 years? Do you guys have a
Yeah.
persistent home base somewhere? Are you your own state with your own currency? Like what is this kind of 5-year like success story plan?
Yeah, yeah, totally. So I'm about to in a couple weeks to fly to Singapore for the Network State Conference and give a talk there where I'll kind of present our vision. And I think it's different slightly to the kind of classical idea of a network state. Um, we think of ourselves as building more of a network city. We don't necessarily have the ambitions to have the statehood or kind of the nation adjacent aspects, but we do want to have a distributed, essentially urban space or city that is comprised of a bunch of neighborhoods around the world. Some of them will be temporary pop-ups like what we're doing. Some of them will start to become more permanent, like the Esmeralda project that we're building in or helping to create in California. So I think in 5, 10 years, it's going to be this kind of beautiful networked patchwork of places around the world, where people can be living permanently, people can be visiting, and as a member or citizen of this network, you'll be able to move freely within that network and like gain learnings from all of the different places, spend time in them, you know, etc.
So I think you referenced the one of the early AI Zuzalu tracks, and I think we saw a bunch of really interesting projects emerge from that or sort of get funded out of that. I'm curious if you can maybe give us some broader examples of the types of maybe startups that have emerged from this cultural interaction.
Yeah, totally. So we actually learn about these often like a year later, which is unfortunate because it's very hard for us to track. But I was just talking to someone, they were like, "Oh yeah, I met my co-founder at Esmeralda last year," and I was like, "Oh shit, that would be cool for us to know." But yeah, so we're trying to keep up with that. But yeah, a couple of examples. There's a company called DymoPay that's pretty big in kind of the Ethereum kind of app world, and they came out of Zuzalu, and then there was something that we helped to incubate at Edge. Prime Intellect, the founders met at our events. There's a bunch. There's probably a couple dozen of those stories. One recent one that I really like is a company called Constellation. It's like a leading neurotech AI startup that came to our most recent event called Edge Esmeralda, and they participated in one of the residencies that we ran with Long Journey Ventures. And the founder Avery came in with a really interesting idea. He'd done his PhD, he was at Stanford doing neuro, but needed somewhere to actually like actualize it and make it real. And he spent the month putting headsets on people and running neuroimaging data on them. And he had so many willing participants because everyone saw the pictures in the group chats. So I was like, oh yeah, I want that. And now they've just about raised their round and they're like off to the races. And it was cool to see that inflection point of just spending that month in that environment really unlocked their growth potential. So yeah.
All right. So if people are intrigued by this, where should they go and how do they get themselves invited to Edge City in Argentina?
Yeah, so we are at edgecity.live on the internet, or at Join Edge City is our Twitter. And you'll see all the details there. You can apply to Patagonia, and yeah, we'd love to see you.
Amazing, Timour. Thanks for joining us today. I've yet to make it out, but we've had a bunch of conversations.
It's a matter of time, Jess.
It is just a
Yeah.
matter of time, truly.
Yeah.
And then best of
Awesome.
luck.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace.